welcome to today's show. I'm a little bit pissed off, and I'm going to tell you why. Because every single day we hear some story pushed through the mainstream media about the LGBTQ, how they're oppressed, how hate speech is a real thing, and we have to watch out for people. People like me get community guideline strikes for hate speech, which is ridiculous. Okay, because nobody's on here saying, let's kill these people, let's harm these people. We're speaking out against an agenda, and the majority of the channels that you people probably listen to have gotten guideline strikes for hate speech. Yet this kind of crap continues to go on, and nobody sees the bigger picture here. Nobody sees what they're trying to do. Nobody sees how free speech is being taken away. Get this story. A baseball player, professional baseball player, Major League Baseball, Joyce of the Oakland Athletics, is suspended for 2 games without pay for yelling a gay slur at a fan. So put yourself in this perspective. If you've ever watched sports before, never in the history of sports has an athlete gone after a fan unless they were provoked. Whether it's yelling at them, we've seen physical confrontations in the stands. But nonetheless, it's always when the athlete is provoked by a fan. So a fan yells something at this baseball player, and he likely says some derogatory slur back, which we can all imagine what it is. I can't say it because it'll just flag my video, but I'm sure it's something that probably began with an F or a Q. And the guy exercises his right to defend himself and use free speech, and it's deemed hate speech. And he's suspended without pay. Now, these guys obviously make a lot of money, so I'm sure this guy has millions of dollars already in the bank. But still, he's got a family. This is his job and his livelihood. And guess where that salary goes that he's going to be suspended for? It goes to an LGBTQ advocacy organization. So a group that's advocates of gay pride and all of this stuff. And people don't ask questions about these charities. They just go, oh, that's great. Where does hundreds of thousands of dollars, what does that provide for the LGBT advocate group? What are they doing with that? There's people who can't eat in this country. Look at the amount of money that it costs to live in this society, in this world. Everybody's struggling except the elites. And this money, where there's people in third world countries, people in our country who are homeless, who can't eat. And the money's going to LGBTQ what does that mean? That they're going to buy more billboards and shove it down our face more? Buy more TV ads to shove this agenda down our throats? This will get considered as hate speech. But you know what? I'm very close to getting people together to potentially sue YouTube and go after YouTube. Not about the fact that they're taking ads away, because that's fine. If some of these organizations don't want to put ads up, then don't. But you can't flag channels and call hate speech when we have free speech still. Okay? Because I could easily call hate speech on some of the crap that I see on TV mocking our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. How many times a day do I have to sit and see the Satanists walk around carrying the cross, mocking Jesus? How many times do I have to listen to them preach pro-death of children? All these pro-abortion organizations that come out and talk about how it's okay and it's a woman's choice, that should be hate speech, because they're being advocates for murder. Yet you can't say the word gay anymore. You can't call someone it. You can't use the F-A-G word anymore. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable how cowardice this is, how they are forcing it, and how nobody out there sees this, and nobody out there goes, hey, you know what? This is kind of dangerous. Whether there's somebody who, it doesn't matter if you're Christian or not when it comes to this, okay? You should be pro free speech. And there should be no such thing as hate speech, because anybody can claim anything as hate speech. Anyone can. If somebody calls me that, I get comments like that in the message board. I get called homo and stuff like that. I laugh it off. Can I call the organization, the LGBT or YouTube, and say, this is hate speech against me? They say, well, are you homosexual? I say, absolutely not. They'd say, well, we can't really clarify that as hate speech? Oh, because it doesn't fit into your agenda. Major League Baseball, which has so many issues in its own right. We've heard about the steroids and all that kind of stuff, which is all just a waste of time stuff that people argue about. But within 24 hours, they suspended this player. There's no, trial for this guy. There's no nothing. Nobody said, hey, were you provoked by the fan? Yes, I was. He called me, a blank sucker. So I yelled back at him a few words, and that was that. Nope, nothing. No trial, nothing to prove, nothing to show. Baseball comes out because, of course, baseball is in bed with LGBT, because everybody is. All these organizations are, because they all are run by the same people who want this agenda push. And, of course, which this always drives me insane, the player, Matt Joyce, of course, had to come forward with a major apology. This drives me nuts. Like, for one time, could somebody stand up and just say, hey, I said it. That's how I felt. Okay? The guy said this to me. I said that back. If he didn't want me to say it and he was such a coward, then he shouldn't open his mouth in the first place. But these guys always get backed into a corner. I'm sure that's what they said to him. Listen, you're going to get suspended more. You're going to get, people are going to protest at the stadium against you. LGBT will be in full force. And, of course, the guy tucked his tail between his leg and issued a statement. He tweeted an apology in a 7-part thread less than 24 hours after an Associated Press photographer overheard the exchange between Joyce and a fan during Oakland's game on Friday. Joyce acknowledged that he had a truly regrettable moment, saying that those words should never come out of someone's mouth. The Athletics also said in a statement that Joyce's language toward the fan is unacceptable. I mean, where is free speech? What was said that was so bad that it was so regrettable? Think about some of the worst things that someone's ever said to you. Ever. That really hurt your feelings. Maybe like somebody you were married to might have said something that's very personal to you that broke your heart. When someone says something like this, it's almost like a your mama joke. Like if somebody was heckling you and they were like, your mama's so blank, or you're a homo, and you're really going to get upset about it and cry about it, and it's going to be a truly regrettable moment. I mean, give me a break. The Oakland Athletics are very disappointed by the comments Matt Joyce made to a fan during last night's game. They said in a statement, this language is unacceptable and will not be tolerated by our team. We pride ourselves on being inclusive and expect our entire organization to live up to higher standards. We appreciate that Matt is contrite about his conduct and how he will learn from this incident. Here's what you learn. Say anything against the elite's agenda, specifically trans and LGBT, and you will be deemed hate speech. Can they say whatever they want? Absolutely. Absolutely. When the gay pride parades are going on and they're dressed up as Jesus and they're mock crucifying themselves, can we say anything about it? No. Can we do anything about it? No. They go, oh, come on, get over yourself. Get a sense of humor. They're just having fun. It's their day. Right. This whole thing is being set up to destroy Christianity, destroy people such as myself who are exposing this establishment every single day and their agendas every day. I never run out of content to do. The only time that I might not do a video for a couple days or something is if I'm completely drained and worn out. And it doesn't mean that I'm not reading a book or researching something else to do a video on, because this stuff's never ending, ever. It doesn't stop. Trust me. You can just go on any mainstream page and see the agenda and see what they're doing. You can look into all of these cases that have been buried under the rug that involve pedo rings and Satanism that nobody talks about, like McMartin, etc. Never talk about it. If they talk about it, they just go, oh, you mean the satanic panic? It's amazing how people are falling for this. Especially those people out there who, there's atheists and stuff who listen to this channel who are just very pro-America, pro-Trump. They believe this is a republic and everything when it's not. Where are these people? Even if you're a quote-unquote liberal. So what does it mean? That those people who are quote-unquote liberal, which is just another word for Satanists, because that's pretty much what those people are, who are liberals, who follow the do-without-will mindset. Do-without-will for them, they can do whatever they want. They can do crude stuff, disgusting stuff. They can walk around flaunting themselves, doing all these acts in public that they do. dressed in no clothes, these pride parades, all that stuff. They can do that. But we can't question if it's right or wrong. We have to be told that it's right. We can't use terms like that because it's so sensitive. Oh my goodness, so sensitive. Boy, I mean, this is a common term that every man in America uses to make fun of another person. Let's be realistic. It's been going on for a long time. You know why people use that term? Because it's a sign of disrespect to a man to be called that. Because you're telling a man that he's not really a man, that he's a feminine man. And men don't like to hear that. But that's how we've always talked with each other. Men have always criticized each other like that. If somebody yells something at you, the first thing you'd say is something along those lines. Oh, you're a blank this. You know, oh, you're a blank that. And yes, we're told to turn the other cheek. But I'm speaking here hypothetically about the whole situation. As we all know, none of us are perfect. And me, of all people, I have trouble turning the other cheek. And I know that I need to zip my mouth a lot of the times. But I react a lot. A lot of people do. It's part of life. But apparently, if you react and say anything that fits into LGBT, slang that's negative or offensive to them, you're going to be slapped with something. This guy probably losing a couple $100,000. The money, of course, instead of going to some people who need it, goes to another organization that does nothing, provides people with nothing. They'll just buy airtime with it. Remember, folks, philanthropy is one of the greatest scams ever created. Skull and Bones was behind the creation of this. They talk about it. You know, in all these fraternal organizations, how they can use philanthropy to deceive people. That's how they get this image in the public eye. Oh, what a great person. Oh, he's having a charity event. Why do you think every celebrity is doing that? Everyone. It's part of the game. It's part of the deception. So you can go after him, and they'll say, listen, look what he's done. He has a charity, blah, blah, blah. What have you done? Well, I don't know. The little money that I make, I try to just keep a roof over my head and, buy some chemically enhanced foods at the grocery store so I could die at a young age. I mean, give me a break. Free speech, folks. If there's somebody out there who likes it or loves it, well, you better start not loving it because it's not going to be around much longer. I mean, when YouTube used to, strike and go after channels, when I started, which was only, a year and a half, I guess, ago, or 2 years, they would copyright strike. That was kind of what everybody feared. So anytime, like, any of us would upload a video, for those of you who don't upload videos, that had a clip from a movie or a music video, or even if you just use images, you would get hit with a strike, but you could appeal it because it's fair use. If you put a clip up from a movie, then you give commentary on it, it's fair game. You're allowed to. Just like the TV shows, like The Soup and Access Hollywood, all this crap that people watch, they can always show the clip because it's under fair use, right? So we would always worry about that, and we would always have to fight it. It was annoying because it would be a 4-week process until they got back to you, but they'd always end up dropping it because they weren't going to take you to court and spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars on a lawyer because you used a 5-second clip, right? That was the only concern because nobody was ever getting community guideline strikes for the most part, unless it was extreme, talking about let's go kill people or do something like that. That would be the only way they would do it. Now, I mean, I got a strike on a video about McDonald's, having gay coffee cups and celebrating gay pride. I said nothing in it that was along the lines of, threatening to anyone. I pointed out how ridiculous it was, and I got one, and I'm not alone. I'm sure you've seen a lot of your favorite channels disappear. Some, it's a good thing, some are gone. But that's because you can't speak against this. We're all in the same boat. Unless you go with the do without will, which is the liberal side, the satanic side, you might as well just call it that. Unless you're doing that stuff, unless you're out, people can actively just go out and talk about how abortion is great and wonderful and it's a woman's right. They're promoting murder. They're promoting terrorism, pretty much. Terrorism on children. That's what they're promoting. Oh, it's okay to kill babies. No big deal. Don't kill a plant, though, because we're all Wiccan Satanists, right? Promoting that, and that's not hate speech or some type of, violent speech. But if we talk about or say anything against the rainbow community, we get flagged, we get deemed as hate speech, we get people sicking us, the trolls that come over, which is comical to me. I read some of the comments. You're going to go to hell for how you feel. Why? Because I don't want them to continually show homosexuality to children on TV. I'm going to go to hell? Yeah, I don't know about that. Not sure it's exactly something that God is in support of. Read the Bible. Doesn't seem like God is a big supporter of sodomites. But hey, that's just my take. Anyway, I just wanted to rant about this. I wasn't even planning on doing anything. You can see, I'm sure a lot of you heard too, the YouTube censorship, which I know none of you want to hear about, so I didn't do a video on it because I'm sure you've heard it from other channels. It's like beating a dead horse for those of you who are listening. You just kind of go, oh, okay, they're complaining about this. But it is a big deal because they're even admitting now that they're limiting videos. So you can see the channels that are threats to them, the massive drop-off in views suddenly. It doesn't matter, it's whatever. To me, I'm more concerned about them trying to just strike down my channel and start fresh. But it is what it is. But, channels like mine, we need your support to continue researching, to continue putting content out. Even $1 a month on Patreon, goes a long way with the amount of subscribers this channel has. And anything is greatly appreciated. This is very frustrating at this point for a lot of us. We all are having, it gives you anxiety because you just worry about, how long this is kind of going to last. It's just like, well, we don't know. So any support is greatly appreciated. I've thought about other things, like maybe starting a subscription site and doing, like $2 a month or $3 a month for daily content and doing podcasts and stuff like that. The problem is that, there's not a lot of, I don't fit into the alt-right. So these other guys who are getting funded, who like show up on InfoWars, those guys are all perfectly fine. They don't care about any of the censorship because they're being paid to push the Trump narrative, and that's what they're there for. They're trying to tie us into it. But people such as myself who are trying to expose these pedo rings, Satanism, and the symbols and the signs, they make it difficult because they do put these bots that they have. It used to just be they would look for keywords and tag words, but the bots are actually listening to the videos. So if they hear a certain word, like I said the other day about maybe some people who like bagels, they hear something like that, that's the word defining those people, they'll just flag it, they'll unmonetize it, and they'll put it in this basket where it's limited. So most of you won't be able to see the video because you won't know it's there. Doesn't matter if you click the bell or not. So my suggestion is just look every day or so, just come and check and see if there's any new content. It's pretty rare I go more than a few days without putting up videos. I try to do multiple a day. If I can, depending on, if it's deep, detailed content or if it's just going through some new stuff. But just come, check for videos because they're going to do what they can to make sure that it doesn't show up in the subscription feed. They've been doing this for a while now. But now with the new algorithm that they put in on August 1st, it's going to be even worse. So you don't even have to message me and say, hey, your videos aren't showing up. I'm very aware, and I'm sure most of you are very aware that all of my videos, for the most part, are lagging. Like it plays for 2 minutes and then a circle comes up. It's like, what? It doesn't matter how fast your internet is. So they're just, playing their games. But for the time being, we got to fight around it however we can. I want to thank everybody for listening to today's show. I'm sure this will get flagged as hate speech since I said a few words. But, even saying the word homosexual is apparently hate speech. So it's just unbelievable, folks. Free speech, say goodbye to it because it's not going to be around much longer unless we fight back. And we do have the power to fight back. The problem is that the masses are going along with this agenda. And they're just going, let them do what they want. They don't think any of this stuff's real. They don't think mind control is real. They don't think they're targeting the kids because they're caught up in their own materialistic lies. Most of them are bad parents who trust the school system and stuff to raise their kids. Then they find out 40 years later the child was abused when the child finally opens up about it. It's scary. It's sad. But we got to be soldiers. We got to fight back. We got to do that with our voices, before they try to take that away. So I thank everybody for listening to today's show. Any support's greatly appreciated. God bless all of you and your families.